Once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create, hide and show password button using HTML, CSS and then JavaScript. So I'm going to show you how to do this very easily. So what we're going to do is that these are the files I'm going to use. I have my two icons, the open eye and then the close eye, and then I have my JavaScript, my index page and then the style page. So now let's jump right into this. So this is my final way, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to clear the entire code here and I'm going to walk you through everything step by step with no steps kits. Okay, so at the moment I don't have anything on my page, so the first thing we need to do is to create our index page. So I have my index page here. I'm going to generate my HTML file. So let's just call it hide and show password. Okay, so that's going to be the title of our project, and let's actually link our CSS in the header. So we're going to link our CSS here. So I have my CSS file here which I've linked within my header. I've linked my CSS file within the header. Now let's go ahead and then now create. So I'm going to create a class called input box. So this is the class I'm going to use, and within this class we're going to actually create our input. So let's put input here and then we're going to call it password. Okay, so if I go back and then try to reload this page, you can see at the moment we have our input box. Now let's just try and then put a placeholder there. So I'm going to put a placeholder and let's call it enter password. Okay, so basically that is what we need at the moment, and let's add our icon as well. So for the icon, I'm just going to use the image, and here I'm going to first use my close eye icon. So this is the first one I'm going to use, and then just save this and then actually reload this on our page. So at the moment you can see we have everything set up over here. Now we'll go ahead and also link. Let's try and then link our JavaScript file at the bottom here. Let's just call script source. So we're going to use this to link our JavaScript source here. So I'm going to link my JavaScript file here. Now let's start writing our CSS. Okay, so we've actually going to link our CSS file at the top here, and the first thing I need to do is I just want to reset my page, set margin to 0, padding to 0, border box. So I'm going to set my box size into border box. Okay, and then finally I just want to set a font family of her vertical area and the sans serif. So these are the few things I need, and I'm going to proceed by giving a background to my body. So I'm going to give a background color to my body. So just going to give any background color that you wish to use, and I'm going to reload this. And the moment you can see I still have everything set up here. Now let's try to start everything now, and I'm going to first target my input box. So let's target this input box here. I'm going to target this, so I can just copy this, come back here, and this is a class. So I'm going to use a dot and I'm putting the class here. And the first thing I'm going to do is to actually set a background color for this, and I'm going to set it as white. And also I'm going to set the width at 90%, and also give a max width of around 500 pixels. Okay, so 500 pixels should be okay for me. And I'm actually going to add a border radius. So I'm adding a border radius of around 6 pixels. And padding, so padding top 10 pixels, and I'm also going to add 20 left right. Okay, so let me make it 20 left right, and I'm going to set the margin. Margin is going to be 300 pixels top, bottom, and left right is going to be auto. Let's save this and then reload this in our browser. So you see what I have at the moment. I have everything centered at the moment. So now let's continue with the formatting. I'm going to go to add some few class. I'm actually going to display this as flex. So display this, I'm going to say flex, and I'm going to align item center. I'm actually going to align item center here. So this is actually going to align this side by side. Okay, so you can see I have everything now side by side. Now let's try to format the input now. So the next thing we need to do is to actually pick our input box here, still our class, but now we want to target this inputs over here, the password input. So that is what we're going to do next. So just go ahead and target that by saying inputs, and we're going to add some few classes. Let's set the width to about 100%. So the width is going to be 100%, and then we're going to add padding. Padding is going to be 10 pixels top bottom and 0 left right, and we're going to set our border to 0. Outline is also going to be 0. Outline is going to be 0 as well, and then we're going to set the font size to so I'm going to set the font size to around 25 pixels, and color, I'm going to set a color of hash, going to be a gray color, so 55 like this, something grayish color, and we can reload this again and see. You can see this is looking quite okay now. We add some formatting. We're going to add some formatting to our image. So now finally let's also format our image. So I'm going to call my input box again and then target the image. So it's going to be this. So basically what we are doing is that we are targeting this image here within our input box. So we're actually going to set the width. Let's set the width to just about 35 pixels. 35 pixels, and the cursor, we're going to set the cursor. Let's set the cursor to pointer. So we're going to leave the cursor at pointer, and that be it. So our CSS part is done. You can see it's looking very interesting now. So we can enter our password, but we want anytime we click on this, it should make the password visible. So we're going to use JavaScript to actually achieve that. So that is actually what we're going to do. But before we do that, we actually need to assign IDs to our password here. So we're going to assign ID, which we're going to call in our JavaScript using the get element by ID. So let's first call this password, and then also assigns ID for our icon. So let's just call it icon. So that is the IDs we're going to use within our JavaScript. So remember, I've linked the JavaScript file already here. So now let's go ahead to our JavaScript file and then create some few files to do that. So let's create a function. First, let's create a variable calling icon. So let icon equal to document. It's going to say get document by ID. Remember, we've already assigned an ID, and ID is our ID is called icon. So basically what I'm doing here is called this ID called icon. That is what I'm doing using a get element by ID. So that is what I've actually added over here. Remember, we are in JavaScript, so we need to end this statement with a semicolon, and then I'll duplicate this and do the same thing for the password. So this time around, I'm going to call this one password, and here is going to be password because we have another ID called password. Okay, so remember, we have another ID here called password. So that's basically what I'm doing, and we'll go ahead and create a function. And I'm going to say icon on click. So anytime we click on the icon, we want to actually do something. Okay, so let me just give some space here. On click, I'm going to assign a function to this. So function, and I just wanted to do something. Now the first thing we need to do is that if the password here dot type, we're just checking the type is equal to password, then we do something. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say password dot type equal to text. So we're actually going to convert this to text, just like that. Okay, now else we want to actually do something. I left something here, so I need to close this here and then delete this from here. Okay, I think that is it. So aside that, we're going to do X. So else, we want to do something else here. So else, we're going to say password dot type is equal to password. Okay. So basically this is what I want to do, and let's go back to our page, reload this, and then let's enter our password. So ordinarily if you enter password, it's not supposed to be visible. And if I click on this, you can see now everything is working. But we want anytime we click on this icon here, it should change to the view icon. You can see the icon here is still showing as closed. So now let's just go there and then work on that. So we're not going to pick the next icon. Remember, we have two icons in our folder, so we just want to bring this icon, the open icon. So all I need to do down here is to put a very simple information. I'm going to pick my icon here and I'm going to say source. We want to get a source of that, and this is actually going to be linked to the source of our icon, the open icon here. So we just need to use a file name, which is dash open.png. so that is what we need, and then I'll make sure I close this and I copy the same thing here, and then when I come down here I'll paste it here, but this time around it's actually going to be closed. So here it's going to be close dash i.png. If everything is set and we go back here and we try reloading this and we try putting in a password, I click on this, you can see now everything is now working perfectly. So this is how to create hide and show password icon using JavaScript, PHP, and then CSS. Like, subscribe for more tips and tricks like this right here on this channel. I have more tips to share with you and more amazing stuff coming.